Big things are happening at Games Workshop. The business is exploding in terms of popularity. This is due with the licensing stuff, which we'll go over in this video. Also in relation to this is the big Amazon news, which apparently is going to be reported on very, very soon. So let's jump in, let's look at all this, and let's get waffling. So last week, Games Workshop put out a financial statement of what's been happening, and this absolutely exploded their share price. I think at one point it went up to around 16%, and back now, look at it today, it's around 12%, which is still fantastic. If you own shares in Games Workshop, then you've made a big profit, well, depending how many shares you actually put into there. But this is down to a few things. It's down to licensing, but it's also down to the big announcement of a potential Amazon link up, which we'll also talk about later on in this video. Let's firstly look at the licensing and the profits which Games Workshop are looking to make this financial quarter. So as I stated, one of the main reasons why the share price went up is the profits that Games Workshop are expected to make. Trading is higher than expected, with profits for the half year expected to be around 120 million. That's 120 million in profits, which is a 25% increase on the same period last year. So this profit, as I keep mentioning to people, this is after they've made all the models, they've paid all the staff, they've paid the gas bill, the lecky bill, the drivers, everything. This is the profit after all of that. Now, one of the reasons why profits are so high with Games Workshop is down to their licensing. The same time last year, their licensing was around £13 million, and now it's up to around £30 million. So that is an absolutely massive jump. This is down to the success, of course, of some of the video games that have been put out there. We've had Road Trader, but I think the big beacon so far is Space Marine 2. We've all been talking about that game. I've been playing it religiously over on my channel, showing it off, the campaign, multiplayer, co-op and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are watching this video who have played the game and enjoyed the game. This game has earned not only a massive success in terms of bringing new fans in to the IP itself, but also resonating with current 40k fans on how amazing that game was. The single player, some of the cutscenes, the story, everything like that. The game sold fantastically well. I think it sold over 3, 4, maybe even 5 million copies at this point, which of course has led to a mass amount of revenue for Saber, Focus, and of course Games Workshop. I've always said when I do these like financial videos that I think the biggest weapon that Games Workshop has in its arsenal is their IP. They can literally put that out there and make so many good games, but it has to go to the right studios that know how to use the IP, that know how to respect the law. We've had some terrible games that have used the 40k brand, which I just don't want to see again, and I'm hoping now that with the success of Space Marine 2, that maybe even more bigger companies will come in and they want to bring the 40k universe to life, which is hopefully going to be a great thing for me and you who are fans of the IP. Now, as I always say, I am not a financial advisor when I come to do these videos. I just look at the investor like articles and stuff like that. And one of the investor articles is the success of Games Workshop and how it's being noticed more now by investors. It's looking like potentially that it may go to the FTSE 100, which means that even more investors are going to be jumping onto the GW bandwagon, which will again increase shares into the company, which will make it even more profitable potentially going forward. And I think this is really down to one key factor. And again, I know there's a lot of talk about this. There's been a lot of videos about this as well. Some kind of, you know, cool ones, some really clickbaity ones, some rage bait ones and stuff like that. And it's all down to the Amazon deal with Games Workshop. Now, I'm just going to jump over to this window real quickly because this is a reputable source of a investor website. It's called morningstar.co.uk. I'll leave the link in the description of the video if you want to check it. And they've been talking about Games Workshop's financial rise. And one of the big things that stood out to me is Games Workshop investors wait on Amazon news. I've been hearing about this. I've actually been hearing there's been a bit of internal conversation from the investors saying, hey, we need more news on what's going on with this Amazon deal. Now, for those people who remember, they announced last December that they had a year to come to plans of what they wanted to do. So I personally think next month in December is when we're going to get the announcement. The full GW financial report is going to be released in January. So that is going to mention it no matter what. But I do think an announcement is going to be coming within the next couple of weeks, a part of what's going on with Amazon. If it is going ahead, and if it is going ahead potentially, then what is going to be going ahead at Amazon? Again, we already do have a project at Amazon in the secret level stuff, but that is not the deal which we've been talking about here. So this states right over here, I'll read it along with you right now. Let me just get it on the screen properly so you can see it, everything. AJ Bell Investment Director Russ Mould points to a big uplift in licensing revenue, which we've already talked about. Connected to this is the deal with Amazon on Warhammer TV and film series, news of which is likely to feature in the January results, of course, because that is the full statement that they're going to put out there. The quote is, the beauty of licensing income is it comes with negligible extra cost for the company and therefore is highly profitable. So it is. All that Games Workshop does say, okay, you can use our license. The company pays them, well, GW doesn't pay a fee. The company who wants to use their IP pay GW a big fee. And on top of that, GW probably get a share of income on how profitable that game or film or whatever it is in the future. Games Workshop looks to have a significant untapped potential in its intellectual property and fantasy worlds. Globally, it has only just begun to explore the market and opportunities, which I agree with. For people who don't know, again, this was in a statement, a financial statement some years back. If the Amazon deal does go ahead, and if it is successful, because they've only got the 40k stuff at the moment, or should I say the sci-fi stuff, we don't know if it's 30k or 40k, but they then have exclusive rights to the fantasy IP as well. So let's say, for example, they put out a 40k series, it's hugely successful, everyone's loving it. Amazon can then come back in and say, hey, we'd like to do some old world stuff. Age of Sigmar, if they really want to do that. Next up, he says the company's core revenue for that period is expected to be more than 260 million, a 10% rise from 235.6 million a year ago, with licensing revenue doubling up to 30 million from 30 million, which I've already discussed, really. But again, you can see that the big whale, the big news now is all focusing on this Amazon thing. I've been saying to people, I think once that deal is announced or not announced, that's when you're going to see a big change in GW stocks. And personally, if it doesn't go through, if it caves in, I do see their share price coming down. But if it does go ahead, I think you're going to see a massive jump again. Also, I am not a financial advisor. This is just me theorizing at the moment. Please don't buy shares because you're listening to a random Mancunian lad on YouTube, okay? Please make sure you don't do that. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a great, successful time for Games Workshop going forward. Fingers crossed, we do get some news on that Amazon stuff. That's what I'm waiting for. I just want to see what they're doing. And hopefully it's going to be Eisenhorn. Hopefully Henry's still involved. I know people say, no, Valrak, Henry's left. I've watched this YouTube guy who, you know, told me that Henry's quit because Amazon said this. That's all lies, right? It's all rumor. Rumors are lies. You can't believe anything, absolute zero anything, until Henry says something, Amazon says something, or Games Workshop says something. I am the master of whispers, right? And the master of rumors, and I'll be the first person to say, don't trust rumors. They're all bloody lies, so you shouldn't do that as well. But on that note, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I don't think there's anything more to cover. Again, big things have happened at Games Workshop. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the valuation of Games Workshop now is past 4 billion over on the stock market. I may be wrong at that, but it's definitely up there now. I keep saying to people, it's worth more than British Gas, the British fishing industry, right? It's not a small company, Games Workshop. Even though they try and act like a small company, they are not. They are one of the big sharks in the UK now. They are a big come there. Anyway, enough yapping from me. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. See ya. Have a great day. And bye-bye.